Hey, Dean from Leisure Travel Vans with Kansas City, Missouri. Beautiful Kansas City, Missouri. And we're very excited because we are at the Ford assembly plant where they make the Transit chassis that we use on the Wonder motorhomes. And we're gonna go through a tour of the entire factory. We are very excited. Okay, I've got all my safety gear on. We're gonna go through the entire manufacturing plant. They have 1,200 acres of manufacturing facility area. This is Ford's largest factory in North America. They built the F-Series chassis here for 41 years. And of course, they started building the Transit chassis here in 2013. And this is where it all begins, is they make the floor plans right here. All done by computers. They have laser cutting machines, and this is where it all starts to build the Transit cutaway chassis. And in 13.1 hours, we're gonna have a completed Transit cutaway chassis. As you can see behind me, those are called Godzilla robots. Most factories might have one. This plant has 6. The Transit is the most complex build that Ford has, with over 2,000 variances of build. So 6 Godzilla machines building the Transit. Now that is very cool. They build the Transit van chassis and the cutaway chassis all in the same assembly line. So depending on the mix of build, similar to what we do at Leisure when we have different floor plans, so we mix the build, they do the exact same thing here at the factory, so that is very cool. And now you can see these are some of the finishing robots in this area. There's one of our cutaway chassis getting made, so you can see the box tubular steel chassis framing, all welded construction. You can see the robots are getting it ready for final finish. Very cool. TIG welding, MIG welding, and fuse welding makes the Transit chassis super strong. So this is one of the DC tools that they use here at the factory. They don't use any torque wrenches anymore. So everything is done right here by this machine. If I don't torque this at the correct pressure, lights are coming on and we have a problem. So very cool that everything is done precisely on all the Transit chassis. I love that. So this is why they don't have me working in the factory, because I have 1 minute and 30 seconds to do my job. I never get it done in time. 1 minute, 30-second move times. We're in the trim shop. They have 9 different assembly lines that come into here to finish the units. There's 100 different pieces of glass they have to choose from, and they have to get the units all done. Above me is their hour clock on how many units that they have to be building every single day. And right now they're a little behind, probably because I'm here disturbing the whole system. As you can see the mix of the different Transit vehicles that they make down the assembly line. There's one of our cutaway chassis with a diesel engine, 178-inch wheelbase. You can see all the box tubular steel framing, spot welded. You see the beautiful structure that we have that we can put the floor on. That's one good looking chassis. So this is where they put the windshield on, as you can see on the Transit chassis. Chassis stops, bead goes around, windshield goes in. They do a picture of it. If the frame isn't perfect, it won't install the windshield. Very ingenious. You're probably wondering where all these parts come from. They have a MSC center that is the size of 3 football stadiums that they collect all the parts. The vacuum behind us is the material sequencing center, and all these carts that you see going by us are all the parts that are coming into the main factory. So they get pulled in exact sequence so that every single trim kit and windshield and part comes to the assembly line just in time. They don't allow any forklifts that could damage parts or people, all done with little trolleys that bring the parts from the MSC centers. This factory is incredible. So behind me are the clamshells that actually pick up the chassis. So there's sensors in the floor. If I were to step outside the yellow line, it would stop it and stop the assembly line, and Florgle would be thrown out of here like that. So stay inside the yellow line. So I'm now in the chassis shop. They call it the de-skid area. So the entire motorhome has gone through all the different areas, through paint, through final trim, glass, The clamshells come over. Up on the clamshells, there's different wheelbases. They have to tell the clamshell which wheelbase it is. We build them the 178-inch wheelbase, and then it's going to take it off the skid and put it up in the air. So now you can see the chassis is raised up in the air. There's one of our beautiful cutaway chassis. Anything that goes underneath the chassis, this is where they put the fuel lines on, all the brackets. We're gonna get that ready for all the axle and things that are gonna get installed next. So pretty cool to see it coming down the line in the air. So in this area here, they're getting all the brakes and the hubs ready to go. And of course, on the Transit that we ordered, we have 4 all-wheel disc brakes. Okay, so this is the decking area. We've got about 16 decking carts. And if you look around, that's where they put the bottom part, the motor, the transmission, the axles, drive shaft, all gets done, and then we're gonna install it into the chassis. So it'll stop about 6 inches short before they install it. They'll go inside and connect the shifter cables into the transmission, and then they'll fully install it up into the chassis. So you can see we got one of our cutaway chassis coming down the line. In this area here, they're putting tailpipes on, anything below it, and of course the front face is the Ford grills. So everything's gonna go on. They're getting ready to put the lights on next. They're gonna get ready for the headlamps to go on, and seats are gonna go in next. You can see the lower suspension, leaf spring suspension with heavy duty shock absorbers. So now we're gonna get the tires put on to the Transit chassis. They go through almost 5,000 tires a day, putting them on the Transit vans and the cutaway chassis. Is that not crazy? And of course, we use a 16-inch tire on all of our Transits, and that's all done right here. This is where the last move station before it comes off the line. As you can see, it's always moving as it comes down. So they're gonna put fuel in, diesel fuel, about 6 gallons, fill up the DEF, and then they're gonna fire it up for the first time and drive it off the line. So all final inspections are done, making sure that everything is perfect before it gets shipped to us, so we can build a beautiful motorhome on top of it. We're at the end of the assembly line, and I'm gonna start this baby up and drive it off the assembly line. It started. Is this not cool? Being able to see a new baby born from start to finish. Very exciting. So once again, we come off the final assembly line, and then it's got to go into testing. You can see they're making sure that everything's working. They're aligning the headlights, making sure that everything is fully functional on the motorhome, of course, before it gets shipped. Now we got to simulate road speed, so they lock them in place. They got the rollers. They're going to fire that up, make sure that everything is working, and they're going to run it at full highway speed, make sure that everything is perfect. So now that we've road tested the chassis, made sure that everything is fully functional, now it comes to the CAL line, because we're not done yet. This is the customer acceptance line. So it has to come from there onto this line where all the Ford inspectors go through the entire chassis with a fine-tooth comb. They're looking for paint scratches, they're looking for any defects, anything that isn't working correctly. Then it's going to be repaired before it can go to our customer. This is a very important part. This is why Ford quality is at the top of the industry, because they do this check now, not later. Very important. Okay, so CAL 1 line, this is the CAL 2 line. Over and above customer service, customer quality, takes a picture of every single unit as it comes off this assembly line to make sure that all the right options were on it. Well, that's what Ford quality is all about. And you can see here's one of my cutaways coming down the line. And of course, on our Ford Transit chassis, we ordered the diesel 5-cylinder engine, 185 horsepower, 350 foot-pounds of torque, 6-speed automatic transmission. We've got the Sync 3 navigation system. We load these chassis up so they're perfect for our end customer. We're still not done testing yet. We're now in the what we would call the rain shower in our factory, but this is where they do high-pressure water tests. You can see the water nozzles behind me. They're going to water test the entire chassis to make sure that there's no water leaks at all. Very cool. Hey, I want to thank Mike for taking us to the factory at Ford here in Kansas. It was fabulous, and what a beautiful facility where they build the Transit chassis for us. And I was just looking at the Ford mission statement. Our mission is to produce vehicles that meet or exceed our customers and stakeholders' expectations in a safe and rewarding environment. And let me tell you, this plant does that. What an incredible build. Incredible people that work here, over 8,000 people. They run basically 24 hours a day with the F-150 series 7 days a week.
Correct.
Wow, what an incredible factory, what an incredible facility. The largest Ford factory in North America, by the way. And Mike is great. He's been working here for
29 and a half years.
29 and a half years, and the guy looks like he's 25 years old. How does that happen?
Thank you very much.
Right?
I appreciate it. It's been our pleasure, too, to have you here in Kansas City.
Thank you very much. We got Mike from Ford and Dean from Leisure Travel Bands.